And in a bid to strengthen economic engagement between the ASEAN and India, both the sides yesterday finalized a free trade agreement in services and investments. Trade between India and the Association of the Southeast Asian Nations stands at 80 billion US dollars, and both the sides have aimed at increasing it to 100 billion US dollars by 2015. India is hosting the ASEAN India Special Commemorative Summit in New Delhi, marking India's relationship with ASEAN in summit and dialogue levels. Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh inaugurated the summit.
India and the 10-member Association of Southeast Asia Nations finalized a free trade agreement in services and investment. The move is aimed at strengthening economic engagement between the regions. The foreign trade agreement would pave the way for discussions on a regional comprehensive economic partnership that ASEAN plans to seal with its 6 key trade partners. After operationalizing free trade agreement in 2010, India and the ASEAN were engaged in widening the base of the pact by including services and investments. At present, trade between India and ASEAN stands at 80 billion US dollar, and both the sides have aimed at increasing it to 100 billion US dollar by 2015. Addressing the summit, Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh said that following the implementation of FTA and goods, trade grew by 41% in 2011-12, and the members have set target to attain bilateral trade of 200 billion US dollars in next 10 years.
I am optimistic that our trade will exceed 100 billion US dollars by 2015, and we should aim for the milestone of 200 billion US dollars 10 years from now. We should also build on commendable initiatives like the annual India-ASEAN Business Fair and Conclave and energize our Business Council. Linkages between small and medium enterprises, which are central to our economies, should be promoted and encouraged.
The FTA will now give access to 1.8 billion people, comprising 600 million in Southeast Asia and 1.2 billion in India. The new agreement will add to the FTA on goods between ASEAN and India, said to have created one of the world's biggest free trade areas with a market of around 1.8 billion people and a combined gross domestic product of 2.8 trillion US dollars. Each country is expected to finalize legal documents for the Pact on Services and Investment by February 2013, and the signing is scheduled for August next year. Besides FTA with ASEAN, India is also negotiating similar market opening pacts with members of the grouping bilaterally. India has already implemented FTA with Singapore and Malaysia and is negotiating with Indonesia and Thailand in this regard. ASEAN and 6 partners, namely Australia, China, India, Japan, South Korea and New Zealand, will also start first-round talks on the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership next year, which are expected to form the world's economic bloc in 2015. With the new comprehensive FTA between India and ASEAN, Indian service industry is expected to benefit by easy access to the huge regional market and help boost the exports of the services in the region.
Today's summit marks the first time that India is hosting 9 ASEAN leaders on its soil. It also marks 20 years of cooperation between India and ASEAN. Clearly, India's Look East policy is paying its dividends. With Nandita Daga, this is Sidhant, Sibal, DD News, New Delhi.